Hey, good evening, everyone. I hope you all are doing well this evening. I'm Larry the Batman fan. So, something I had to get off my mind because I know about it. Yeah, it's not like it's in my business, I know. So, please don't point that out in comments or anything like that. But the question of the matter is, am I surprised that Kaden the Ranter 2.0 and Sonya the Scene Girl stopped dating? The answer to that is no, I'm not. I really am not. In fact, I'm actually not surprised by that at all. And why I'm not surprised by that is simple. Because she is a narcissistic piece of crap. I just had to turn that fan off because it's getting kind of cold. She's a narcissistic piece of crap. And she's a flip flopper. And she's ugly as hell. But I guess he doesn't think so. But to each his own, you know. I guess there's somebody for someone, or there's someone that likes someone, and then the other person just doesn't feel the same way about that person, or however you say it, however you word it. Personally, I don't think Sonya the Scene Girl is very attractive at all. She's pretty ugly looking in my opinion. But to each his own. But anyways, that aside, she is just not a good YouTuber and she doesn't make good content and she cannot do videos like I can. I feel like I do videos better than her. I'm not trying to sound like a misogynist or anything, but there are good female creators out there. Melanie Mack cannot be tamed. Um, I think Steph's Too Deaf isn't too bad for a content creator. She's not bad. The Real G Money Hairston, okay? Those are some female content creators I think that actually do try to be good. Sienna Games, she's another one that does a pretty good job, I feel. A decent job. Way better than Sonya the Scene Girl. But yeah, the reason it didn't work out is simple. Kaden the Ranter 2.0, which I knew this shit, before most of y'all even started to notice this sort of thing. He is in a polyamorous relationship. He's dating another girl while seeing another girl and then dating Sonya. It's got like three different women wrapped around his fingers. Okay? And these women are stupid. These women don't realize that. Or they do, but they don't care. They're doing the type of shit that Neo is doing, you know? But I know Neo got a divorce, but he's got all these different women that are flocking to him for whatever reason. Probably just because he had money and still has money from his music. So I know that's not with Caden, but it's an example, and it's kind of similar to what is going on with Caden or Kadeen, however you pronounce that dude's name. But yeah, so he's in one of those type of relationship things, and Sonya apparently she didn't dump him because of that reason. She dumped him because she said he was too clingy. Bull crap. Bull crap. But honestly, that's ridiculous. And I've heard that being said to me before by women. It's just ridiculous. Because it's like if the man calls and texts and pursues a woman more than she wants, then she labels it as being too clingy or needy. But then if the woman does that all the time, when the man's busy working a job, a full time job, dear, where are you? You're not responding. You're not answering my calls. Oh, where did you go? Hello. And then like 10 minutes later, dear this, dear that, darling, honey, baby, where are you? I miss you. I care about you so much, but I miss you. And then 20 minutes later, oh dear, I'm really not happy with you. You're not responding. You're not answering your calls. You're not doing anything. Blah, 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 blah. When they don't even fucking realize that they are doing something. It's like, leave me alone, girl. I'm fucking working. I'm working my ass off to make a paycheck. You know what I mean? You know? They don't have time to respond. They do when they're on break, but other than that, they don't have time. You know? But when it's the man, it's a problem. But when it's the other way around, then they can be as clingy and needy all they want. And bullshit. Just bullshit on that. Fuck that. I'm not with that at all, man. I think that's just ridiculous. You know, with these women, he was just too clingy. That's why I couldn't deal with them. Ridiculous. However, I would see a reason to dump somebody if they're in a polyamorous relationship and the girl is a woman with morals. Sonya has no morals, by the way, because obviously if she did, she would have realized, well, he's dating another girl and another girl. What am I doing here? But she didn't want to get rid of him for that reason. She dumped him over cleanness, which is just bullshit. It's ridiculous, ludicrous garbage. Mumbo jumbo garbage, in my opinion. Which doesn't make sense because the women can also be just as clingy, but yet she dumps them because of clinginess. So it could go both ways, honestly. I don't think it's the reason to dump somebody. A man might have just cared about her. So I know I'm not defending him. I'm just saying that's true. That he probably did care about her enough to actually text her and whatnot. I mean, the dude's only 22 or 23 years old, you know. And I know she's around the same age as him, you know. They're much younger than me. But, you know, like when it comes to like polyamorous relationships or a man dating multiple women while he's supposed to be with one woman, that's not loyal. That's cheating. And that I could definitely see a woman not wanting to be in a relationship with him for that reason. But, you know, there are some women out there that have no morals and they don't really give a crap. They just want sex and they want fulfillment and they'll just stay with him even though he's with another woman. Or they do it because they know he's got bread, he's got money, things like that, you know? So that's why. But I think in this case, I don't think Kaden is a rich man. I mean, he's a black man, but he's not a rich man. And he's not very smart either or intelligent. He's a fucking douchebag. He's a fucking pea brain who's a rotten son of a gun here on YouTube. Um, but that aside, yeah, he has no morals either. It's obvious. It's apparent. He has no morals. She doesn't have no morals either. But yeah, I'm not surprised in the least bit why this didn't work out at all. You know, because they're two different people. I'm not saying that interracial relationships don't work out. I was in a interracial relationship before, but it's just they're two different people. One's living in the U.S. and the other one's not living in the U.S., so it's a long distance relationship. You know, and it's like, yeah, I get it. They're both content creators and whatnot. You know, that isn't that important, but they had a few similarities, but too many differences. You know what I mean? And that's why it probably didn't work out. It didn't work out because she made some ludicrous claim on his behalf. But, you know, maybe Caden is a very clingy man. I mean, but men want the attention, you know, because if the woman he's dating gives him no attention for several days and he's waiting several days to hear back from you, then that just leads me to believe personally that you really don't find him of value. You really don't give a shit about him, Sonya, the scene girl. Or Sonya Cherry. I know your real fucking last name. I do. Um, and that's not cool either. When women take like several days to get back to a man, I get it if she's on vacation or she's busy, but at least text them and tell them, look, babe, I'm busy. I'm on vacation. I'm not gonna be back for a couple days, but I'll holler at you when I get back. Don't leave them on red, making him wonder for 3, 4, 5 days where the hell you are. You know what I mean? Because then that leads the man to think that she's cheating on him, or she just doesn't find you to be a priority, you know? And that I don't feel is right either. So, just, you should have sent him a text. Let him know, oh, I'm busy. I'm doing this, and that, and the other thing. I'm busy doing shit. Then it would have been, okay, I understand. Get back to me when you're ready. If he's a respectful person, but I don't think he's a respectful person. I've ranted about the dude before, so I have a funny feeling he's not. And he wouldn't wait. But it was me, and she at least got back to me that once to let me know what the hell's going on. I said, okay, no problem. You get back to me whenever you're ready. Because I learned, don't blow up a woman's phone. Because all that does is show that you're clingy, insecure, and needy. So, and they hate that. So, that's the better thing to do. If they get back to you, okay, no problem. You send a text back, one or two texts, and then you say you get back to me when you really want to start taking things seriously, or you say you get back to me when you're ready to continue our relationship here and talk about all this cool stuff, you know, and us actually going on a date and seeing each other, things like that. Then you know that she values you. But if she takes several days to get back to you and leaves you on red like that for a long, long time, like a week or more, or 5 days or more, then you're not a priority to her and she really doesn't care about you that much, you know? Because women, they tend to change up on you all the time. They can't be decisive. They're indecisive when, you know, they want to be. So, so that's just my opinion, on this whole matter. You know, they're not inseparable. They're two brats on YouTube. I'm starting to think that Kaden is a bit worse than Sonya the Singing Girl personally, but that's like comparing piss to diarrhea. You know, I mean it just doesn't make any good comparison really. They're both pretty bad. Um, but yeah. Excuse me. Sorry, I'm recording this a late video. It's after 1 where I am, 1 a.m. But yeah, the point is that they both suck, and neither of them, I think, would have worked out anyways. Their relationship only lasted like 5, 6 months. You know, I'm not surprised. They probably never even went on a date, to be honest with you. They just Skyped and talked through Facebook Messenger and Instagram, or texting each other on Instagram, because I don't think that you can actually FaceTime on Instagram, but Facebook Messenger you can. So that's probably how they were talking to each other. Um, but yeah, I'm not surprised at all that it didn't work out. And if they get back together, I'll be like, oh gosh, not again. It wouldn't surprise me. But yeah, she said she's going to be looking and hoping for a new crush. But honestly, who would want to date that ugly piece of shit? Like, for real. Like, Shit. I mean, her and the master of all DVDs press would look but ugly. I mean, Olivia or Olive Oil Run, who was formerly Playmate Tessie, looks decent compared to those two, but yeah, she's high maintenance and she sucks just as bad. In fact, she's the worst female YouTuber I've ever seen. Worse than Sonya the Sing Girl and worse than the Master of all DVDs Presswood Girl. Worse than those two. But she at least looks decent looking compared to these two, you know. But anyways, that's all I really got to say about these two. They both suck. They're both terrible YouTubers. And I'm not surprised at all that it didn't work out. I really am not. I knew it wasn't gonna work out. I just knew. Just instinct. Like something just patting me on my shoulder like every once an hour saying, you know, Larry, I know that it's not gonna work out with those two. And I'm just like got like a conscience here, right? Told me that and I'm just like, you know what? I don't disagree with you, conscience. I don't disagree with you. And then he got another conscience. Oh, well, maybe it will work out. Maybe it will work out. I'm just like looking at him like, yeah, good conscience, you're full of shit. Kind of like Kronk from the Emperor's New Groove movie and that TV show. Kind of like that. Yep. So that's anyways. That's all I got to say here. Larry the Batman fan signing off. Peace.